Namaste everyone, welcome to yoga this morning. We're out in Dripstone Reserve in Darwin, so this will be interesting. I was thinking that this class will be really nice in nature, but you tend to forget, you know, all the bugs and the mosquitoes and the blowflies and the dogs running around, and so hopefully we don't get too many distractions, but hopefully you're in the comfort of your own home and you've made a nice space for yourself and you don't have any interruptions. But to begin with today, we're going to start on our back, have a block and a belt to be in, and make sure the belt in particular is handy to begin with. So come down onto your back. Alright, so just with the knees bent up and the feet on the floor, just resting the hands on the front of the hip points or on the ribs, and just take a moment just to really sink down and relax. Just let the eyeballs fall back into the head. Let the jaw be nice and soft. Let the shoulders release towards the ground. And just bring your attention to the abdomen, just watching the abdomen rise and fall with the breath. And now just starting to deepen the breath. So taking the breath through the nostrils down into the abdomen, and slowly feel the breath rise up into the chest. And then as you exhale, just feel the breath release, let the whole body go. No tension. Inhaling, breathing in. Exhale. Okay, so just take a few moments just to let that breath come in and out. And just taking one last breath there. Okay, when you're ready, just drawing the knees into your chest. Just a little bit of a rock from side to side. And then just straightening through the left leg, draw your right knee in towards the chest. Hopefully you don't have a whole lot of honky nuts underneath your mat like I do. Alright, grab your belt, put it underneath your foot, and reaching the foot up to the sky. Honky nuts, I don't even know if they call them honky nuts here in Northern Territory. I know in Western Australia, when I used to live in Perth, they used to call those the gum nuts that fall from the ground, fall from the tree under the ground, honky nuts. That might be a local lingo of Western Australia, perhaps. Okay, so just drawing that leg towards you, extending the heel up towards the sky. Just try and relax the shoulders and the face. Jaws nice and soft. Just encouraging a little bit of length through the back of the knee. Okay, put both sides of the belt into the right hand. Put the right elbow on the ground with the forearm at right angles to the ground. Reach that right leg out. Place the left hand on top of the left hip, stretching out, breathing. Try not to hold any tension in the neck or the shoulders. And then come back to center, swap hands with the belt, and just place the right thumb into the right hip crease and just push that right hip crease down towards the front of your mat. And then just take your foot across the body just a few inches. We're not twisting or rolling, we've still got our back of our right buttock on the ground. Just stretching out the right side of the hip. Okay, now bring the knee into the chest, put the belt to the side, squeeze the knee into the chest, wrap the fingers around the front of the shin, and just take a couple of nice deep relaxed breaths there. Just really relax into it. Okay, grab the right ankle with the left hand and place the foot on top of the thigh and just rocking out to the side, and then reaching the right hand out to the right. So the right knee is over to the left and the right hand is out to the right. So it's early in class, don't crank into it, just let gravity do the work here. Just be aware of the tension through the hips, through the back, the stomach. Maybe take a couple of nice deep breaths into your abdomen and just let that whole midsection just release and go. Okay, come back to center and bring the knees back into the chest. Squeeze, straighten the right leg and draw the left knee in towards the chest. Okay, belt around the sole of the foot. And just pushing your left buttocks towards the front of the mat, reach the left heel to the sky. And just drawing those arm bones back down into their sockets. Neck is soft, face is soft, jaw is soft. Breathing. Okay, put both sides of the belt into the left hand. Left elbow on the ground, left forearm at 90 degrees. Reach out through the sole of the foot, spread the toes. Right hand on top of the right hip point just to keep that right hip down. Lengthening your leg bones. Nice long legs, both sides. Okay, back to center. Swap hands, jam the thumb into the hip crease, take that foot across the body a few inches. Breathing. Just easing ourselves into the practice today. This is probably one of my all-time favourite sequences to do at the beginning of class. And if you've been coming to any of my classes for a while, it's been pretty much a staple, just because it is so effective at waking the body up and preparing it just for the more demanding postures of yoga. And then bring the knee back into the chest, clasp the fingers around the front of the shin, draw it in. And then clasp the hand, the right hand around the left ankle, and just rolling over onto the left side, right side this time, and reach the left hand out. And then come back to center. Draw the knees into the chest, squeeze them in, lift the head, give yourself a squeeze, rock out to the right side, and then come up to a sit. So cross the right shin in front of the left shin. Bring the feet out as far as you can out towards the edges of your mat. Join the hands together, and then sweep the hands up towards the sky. Lengthening out through the sides of the armpits, lengthening out through the inner elbows, grounding down through the sit bones. And then reach the hands out to the side. Big step out to the right, bend the elbows, sweep the left hand over, nice side bend. Reach out through the fingertips, just turn the gaze upwards a little, and just bury that left sit bone down into the ground. And then come back to center and switch sides. Bearing that right sit bone, reaching out through the right hand, and then coming back up, sweeping the hands up, and then folding forward. Just stay on the hands, flex your feet a little, and push the sides of your feet into the floor, lift the chest, and then sinking down as far as you can comfortably, pushing your hip creases back, pushing your bottom back. And just release the head, take a few breaths. Maybe a little bit of side to side movement there can help. And then come back up. And just a little bit of core activation, so bring the legs together, lift the chest, reach out through the arms, and then lift the legs into Navasana. Spread the toes. And then left shin in front of the right shin. Clasp the hands again, sweep up, press the palms up. Lengthening the body. Think of that spine being nice and long and spacious. Front of the neck, the throat's nice and soft. Back of the neck soft, but long. And then reaching out through the hands. Big step out to the left. Bend through the left elbow, sweep out through the right hand. Bury that right sit bone into the ground, stretching, turning the gaze up slightly. And then back to center, swap sides. And then back to center. Bring the knees back together, lift the chest, and then reach out through the feet. This time you can you can keep the legs as it were, squeeze the legs together, or you can straighten the legs if you like. This helps strengthen the thighs as well, strengthening the psoas, strengthening the quadriceps. And then cross the feet under, everyone come up in a downward facing dog. Okay, just in this first down dog, bend the knees, press your sit bones up as high as you can, let the neck be soft, and then straightening out through the right leg, bend deeply through the left knee.
And then swap sides. Just brushing the tension out of that calf and back of the leg. And then bring the knees to the ground. Just come down into child's pose. Just for a brief moment, let everything go. Okay, just rolling up onto the hands and knees. Roll over into a gentle, lazy up dog. Just lifting the chest, letting the tailbone just dive down towards the ground as the heart lifts. A little bit of side to side sway there if it feels good. And then push back into child's pose. And then back up. Press the fingertips into the ground, stand tall on the arms. And then back. Breathing. And then coming up onto the hands and knees, step the right leg forwards and just dropping the hips, lifting the chest. And just encouraging a little bit of stretch through the groin area, through the front of the hip. Relax your shoulders. And then sweep the hands up, gaze to the thumbs, and then exhale, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. And then rock over into plank and just coming down onto the ground. Reach the hands back, clasp the hands, lift the chest, press the backs of the feet into the floor, lift the knees. Just engaging those back muscles. And then down dog. And then step the left leg forwards, back knee to the ground, and then just dropping the hips, lifting the chest. My God, it's hot out here. What was I thinking? Okay, lifting the chest. And exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into down dog. Stand tall on the arms, stand tall on the legs. Let those sit bones lift. Let the spine become long. Okay, walk up to the hands. Hands to the shins, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine and then fold. You can bend the knees. And then the inhale, lift up. Exhale. Okay, we're going to do some classical Surya Namaskar. So big toes together, heels slightly apart. Lift up through your arches. And then inhale, sweeping up the hands. Exhale, folding forwards. Hands to shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Step the right foot back. We'll just stay in a little bit of a lunge to begin with. Reaching the back leg back. Back leg's nice and strong. So is the front leg. And then down dog. And then roll over into plank. Come down onto the ground and we'll come up into cobra. Peel yourself up, elbows close in. Use your back muscles. Not so much your arms if you can. Down dog. And step the right leg forwards. And nice long lunge here too. Long through the back leg. And then step the back leg forwards. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. And release. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale, lifting the heart, dropping the heels into the floor, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive down. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Hands onto the floor, left leg back. And we're going to come into that lunge position. Just focusing on the breath, just letting any tension from the body come out. Don't get too serious or rigid through the body. Down dog. Just letting your hips and tummy hollow up towards the sky, and then rock over into plank, come down into the ground, cobra, peel up, shoulder blades slide down the back, chest lifts, and release. Downward facing dog. Oh man, it's so sweaty, my glasses are falling off my face. Left leg forwards. Okay, long lunge. Feel like you got a little bit of buoyancy through there. And then step forwards. Hands to shins, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Spread the toes on the ground, feel the weight coming down through the heels. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive. Hands to shins halfway. And then exhale, hands to floor, right leg back. Back knee to the ground. Low lunge, yep. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into plank this time. Take a breath into plank. And then coming down into to the floor, or come down to chaturanga. Roll over the toes, up dog. Keep the gaze towards the nose. Downward dog. Take a breath or two in down dog. Broaden between your shoulder blades, stand tall on your arms. And right leg steps forward, back knee to the ground. Sweep up and forwards, stepping forwards. Hands to shins halfway, and then release. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Soften the jaw. Lift the root of the palate up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands for left leg back. Back knee to the ground. Sweeping up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And then chaturanga. Roll over the toes, lift the chest, strong legs. And downward dog. Take a breath or two in down dog. Press those thigh bones back. Let the spine just fall out of the hips. And then left leg forwards. Sweep up. And hands to the floor. Step the back foot forwards. Hands to shins, halfway lift. And then release. Inhale up. And then back to Tadasana. Take a breath in Tadasana. Okay, we're going to step our right leg back, line the heels up. We're going to come into warrior pose. So line those heels, place the hands onto the hip joints to begin with, and this left hand on the left hip joint, just actually lift it up a little. Lift it up and engage your right buttock. What's happening?
I'm just going to check where the video is because it's not on the group. Okay, go.
Oh, I've put it on my Facebook, on my page. All right. Inhale, lift up the arms. For those of you who don't know what just happened, I was supposed to be live streaming this, but I've streamed it to the wrong page. So lucky I'm recording, I'm going to put this up later and you'll see it. So reaching out through the hands. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. And then turning your left palm up to the sky, reaching over, gazing towards the back ankle. Reverse warrior. And then bring yourself back up to the front of the mat. Take a breath. Okay, now step the left leg back. We're going to do the warrior on this side. So lifting the arms, actually we'll do the hands on the hip thing. So just lift your right hip up, engage your left buttock, and then reach out through the hands. Pressing down through the back edge of the back foot, pressing down through the base of the front big toe. Okay, turn your front palm up, gaze towards your back foot, sweep it over. And then release, stepping up to the front. Okay, taking a breath there. And then step your right leg back, and this time I'm going to come into triangle, side angle pose. So left elbow to the left knee, sweep the right arm up to the sky, open the armpit up to the sky, press down through the back edge of the foot. And if you want, you can either stay there or you can place the hand on the floor on the inside of the foot, or on the outside of the foot onto a block, or on the floor, it's up to you. And just try and feel like you have an even weight through both feet. Breathing. And then releasing down. And I think we'll come into a downward dog. It's kind of what I feel like right now. Okay. And then step the right foot in between the hands, spin the back heel to the ground, and sweeping up, I'm going to come into a side angle pose here. Okay, even weight through both feet. Sweep your right sit bone towards the back heel, reaching out through that top hand. And if you want, you can place that hand on the foot. So or place the hand on the foot or a block, whichever one you want to do. And then release. Downward facing dog. And then stepping or hopping forwards. Hands to shins. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale up. And release. Okay, we're going to do triangle pose. Right leg back. Straightening through both legs, slight inward rotation of both legs. Heels are still in line here. Imagine your feet are concreted down, feel a lift up, Uddiyana Bandha. Reach out through the hands and then reach forwards, place the hand on the shin or on the block or the floor, or if you're more advanced you can hold the big toe. And then reaching out through the hands. Try and keeping a nice long spine. And then when you're ready, bending through the front knee. We're just going to come up and come straight to the front again and then switch sides. So line the heels, concrete them down, inhale, lift, and then reaching forwards. Triangle pose. Try and keep a nice, broad, open front chest. So when we go down into a yoga posture, we're not just bogging, we're not just coming down and going down. What happens is, as we exhale, we ground, and then as we inhale, we feel this expansion and opening and exploring of the body. And then as we exhale again, I relax, it's a surrender. I give up the ego, I give up any ambition to be in a certain way in the posture. And I just learn to just take it as it comes. Okay, bend through the front knee, step forwards, and then we're going to step the legs, so the feet are parallel. Toes are slightly turned in, so that would mean that the legs are slightly turned in as well. Hands onto the hips. Take a deep breath in, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and then actually, before we come down, we're going to, the inner arches, you're going to push them into the ground. So push those inner arches in. Okay, inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and then exhale, release down. Hands underneath the shoulders. And then inhale, halfway lift. Legs can be straight or knees can be bent. Hands come down. Now you can be with straight arms, that might be enough for you. You can even have your hands on blocks. Or if you like, you can just release the spine towards the ground, sending your sit bones up towards the sky. Nice deep breaths. And then inhale, halfway lift, and then hands onto the hips and come up. Inhale, reach out into the arms, join the hands behind the back. Send the arms down the back, lift the chest, broaden between the shoulders, and then exhale, folding forwards. And release. And inhale up. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forwards. This time the hands are underneath the shoulders again. And we're just going to lunge, turn our left foot out and lunge over to the left a little, just opening up the right adductors, inner thighs, and then do the same on the right side. You can just stay there, or you can just oscillate between each side. Just keep the jaw soft. Keep the wrists and the hands soft, but the fingers are spread. If you're feeling kind of clunky or tight through here, it's alright, you can work with it and do it a little bit more often. Walk the hands to the front of the mat and just come down into lizard pose. So hands onto the floor, or you can come down onto the elbows, or the elbows can come onto a block. So whichever one you want to do. Just take a breath or two. And then come up and just walking the hands around to the back of your mat and doing this exact same pose. Sinking down. God, it feels good if you've had a bit of tension through your hips. It feels really good to get deep into those hips. I've had a problem with my right hip over the last month or so, and this feels good. Okay, come back to center. Turn the toes in, hands to the hips. Inhale, sweep it up. And then just walk the feet forwards together and come to the front of the mat. Okay, we're just going to make a transition down to the ground now. Inhale, sweep it up. Light bodies, exhale, dive forwards. Hands to the shins halfway. Hands to the floor, step both feet back. And then come down to chaturanga. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Take a moment or two in your downward facing dog. And then knees to the ground. Let's just come into child's pose. Just have a moment of introspection and relaxation. Just let it all go. Let the air come out the mouth for a moment. Okay, when you're ready, bring your right knee to the right wrist, pigeon pose. Just coming down onto the elbows and just squaring your hips up and releasing towards the ground, or you can stay up on your elbows or on your hands, just up to you. And then when you're ready, just pop up into down dog. And then left leg, left knee to left wrist. Okay, if you have a problem with this pigeon pose, you can put a block or a bolster or a pillow underneath your hips. That will make it easier. Just wind that left hip down, releasing towards the ground. Okay, taking one last breath. And coming up into downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, roll over into plank. And then come down onto the ground. Locust pose, reach the hands behind you, press the pelvis into the ground, squeeze the legs together, and then lifting up. You can either keep the hands there or you can reach the hands out in front of you. And then release, let the hands come underneath the forehead. Just relax there. And then pop back up onto your hands and knees. And what you're going to do is you're going to place your left hand about a foot in front of you, and then thread the right hand underneath, come onto the side of your head, onto the right side of your head, and then step your left hand out to the left a little, so your elbow's at 45 degrees, and then just push into the hand and use it as a leverage to turn yourself up towards the sky. Deep breaths, feel those rib cages opening, create space. Come back to center and do the same with the right hand. Thread the left hand under and then then bring the right hand out a little bit to the right, push it into the ground, so the hand should be underneath the elbow now, and the elbow's at 90 degrees to the ground. Push it in, turn the chest up towards the sky. Okay, come back to center, and then everyone just come down onto your back. All right, feet underneath the hips, elbows beside the body. Press the feet into the ground, slowly curl the tailbone up, come up into bridge. And if you like, you can join the hands behind the back, but you don't have to do that. Press the arms into the ground. Press the base of the big toe into the ground. And then release down to the ground. Just take a breath or two. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Tucking the tailbone, pressing the lower back into the floor, rolling up. Feeling those honky nuts underneath your back. Press the hands down into the ground. Try and make the neck nice and soft. And then releasing down. Bring the knees to the chest. Squeeze up. Rolling to the front of the mat. And placing the the left foot onto the outside of the right hip and the right foot on the outside of the left knee. Sitting up nice and tall, reach the left hand up to the sky, create length through the spine. And then twist over to the right, draw the knee into the chest or place the elbow onto the outside of the knee. Press your right fingertips into the floor behind you. Breathe. And then come back to center. Switch sides. Sweep it up, the right hand, turn to the left, hug the knee in or put the elbow on the outside of the knee. Feel a little bit of an upward lift. And now twisting over. And then come back to center. And then we're going to stretch the feet out in front of us, just in Dandasana. And then we're going to bring the left foot onto the inside of the the right thigh. And you're going to square the hips up. Now you may need a belt for this. It may be tight. Put the belt around the sole of the foot. And then inhale, we lift up. And then we just reach our chest towards the toes, folding at the hip joints. Okay, come back into Dandasana and then swap sides, right foot onto the inside of the left, and then either using a belt or holding the toes, lift up and then reaching forwards. Just bring your right kidneys over towards your left leg. And then release. Grab your block. If it's that time of the month for you, this will not be so good for you. So just come into lay on the ground and put your legs up the wall. So we're going to come into an inversion. You can place the block on either one of the three levels of the block. So we got shortest, second highest, and the highest. And place the sacrum on top of the block. Wrap your hands around the block, stabilize the block with those arms, and then just lifting the feet up towards the sky, reaching the heels towards the sky. Keep the chest lifted, keep the neck throat open, breathing, actually just spend as much time up here as you can comfortably. The more time we spend in inversions, the better. However, you also want to be comfortable. If inversions just aren't comfortable, this sort of thing, just go to the wall, put your feet up the wall, put your bum as close as you can to the wall, and just relax there. Okay, when you're ready, just coming down, block to the side, bring the knees into the chest, a little bit of a rock from side to side. A couple of options here. For this next one, we're going to come into fish pose. Fish pose can be a little bit strong for some people, so if it is strong, what you can do is you put the block in between your shoulder blades or just below the shoulder blades, and you can just cradle your head, keep your gaze towards your nose, elbows in, and just let yourself release over the block just to get a bit of openness through that chest. Tip your hips backwards, that means tucking your tail. Just let that chest area just open over the block. So that's the first thing you can do. Everyone can benefit from that one. Otherwise, fish pose is good too, because fish pose we can also build strength in the muscles that we're using. Okay, so we squeeze the arms underneath the body, the palms are face down, we sit the hips on the back of the wrists or the hands, depending on how long your arms are. This is going to be interesting with my honky nuts. Okay, so tip the hips back, tuck the tail, lift the chest, open the throat, breathing deeply into the chest. And then release towards the ground. Everyone bring the knees into the chest. And then just to finish off, come up to a sit. Cross the right shin in front of the left shin. Place the block in front of you and just walk the hands forwards, resting the head on the block on whichever level you like, and just letting it all go. And then when you're ready, you can just slowly come down onto your back, come into Shavasana. So lay down on your back with the hands beside your body, palms are face up, toes are falling out to the side. This is a time where we get to completely rest. I'm not even going to try and control the breath.
We're just going to let all the changes that we've made to the body and the nervous system, just going to let them settle down and relax. Okay, when you're ready, you can slowly start to wake your body up. Just wriggling the fingers and toes. Just rocking your head from side to side. And just bringing the knees one at a time up in towards the chest. And then rolling out to the right side into the recovery position. And then coming up to sitting. Okay, so we're just going to finish off the class with a little bit of kirtan meditation. So sitting comfortably and just placing your attention on the sound of the mantra. And right now you've got nowhere else to be, nowhere else to go. This is probably, according to yoga principles, this part of the asana practice, the meditation at the end is the most important part. So the asana is preparing the body for meditation. It's not, the asana itself is not the goal, but the meditation is where we're at. Okay, so just listening nice and carefully. I'll repeat the mantra, and if you'd like, you can repeat it back after I've said it. So we'll use the mantra Om Hari Om. 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 Your turn. I'll sing with you. Om Hari Om. 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 Namaste everyone, thank you very much. Have a great day. If you are trying to attend the live class earlier, my apologies. Have a good day.